Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video. Welcome to my beginner flipping guide. Now this was one of the very first videos I ever made on my channel, but because of the new influx of players with Oldschool Runescape Mobile, as well as it being 3 years old, I thought I would make a more up-to-date and recent guide on how to get started flipping on the Grand Exchange. Now flipping is by far the easiest and most lucrative way to make money in Oldschool Runescape. It does have a little bit of a learning curve to it, but especially for free-to-play players, it is one of the easiest ways to earn a bond in free-to-play without having to grind out anything at all. Now following this video, I am actually going to be releasing a from scratch to bond series from flipping only. It'll be like a 2 or 3 part, maybe 4-part series, which when it's released, I will leave a link in the description for that. But I thought it would make more sense to release a guide first and then follow up with some real life applications and just a step-by-step tutorial. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoy and let's get started. So to begin with here, what is the Grand Exchange? Well, the Grand Exchange is a global trading network that is set up in the northwestern section of Iraq. Pretty much every single item in the game can be bought or sold on the Grand Exchange. The major exception here is untradeable items. So if you can't trade an item to a friend, you will not be able to sell it on the Grand Exchange either. Any regular account can use it. However, if you are an Ironman, a hardcore Ironman, or an ultimate Ironman, you will not be able to use the Grand Exchange. There is one extra restriction on it, and that is for new players. You will have limited access to buying and selling on the Grand Exchange when your account is new. Before you have 24 hours of game time or 7 quest points, your account will be limited in what you can do. It is definitely worth making sure you have those requirements before you start flipping on the Grand Exchange. So I know this is a flipping guide, but it's kind of important to explain how the Grand Exchange works before we move on to flipping. So to begin with here, we have 100,000 coins in our inventory, just to give you some examples, and we're at the Grand Exchange. So on a free-to-play account, you will only have access to 3 offer slots. On a pay-to-play account, you will have access to 8. That is a pretty serious limiting factor, but it is still possible to flip in free-to-play pretty effectively. So each offer slot has a buy and a sell option on it. If you click on the buy items option, it will pull up a search parameter and you can search through every tradable item in the game. So like if we want to look up Nature Rune, it'll autofill it after a while. Click on Nature Rune. It will give you the baseline price that it thinks the item is at, but you can put in a price for anything. It doesn't matter. I could try to buy a Nature Rune for 1 GP. It would never happen, but I can leave that in there till the end of time if I want to. Now, for example, if I want to sell an item, you want to click on the right icon, which is sell items. From here, you can click on the item in your inventory and it'll automatically put in a sell offer. And then again, you can put in any price you want. Another way to do this is just to straight up click on the item in your inventory. You don't even have to click on either of these icons. It'll automatically assume you want to sell it and bring up the same menu. So now what is flipping? Well, flipping is simply taking advantage of a discrepancy between the buy price of an item and the sell price of an item. This is normally called the margin. So now for flipping, we need to get a price difference between items. So if we go again to the Nature Rune, now the easiest way to do this is you want to just quickly buy the item and quickly sell the item. So if we go ahead and click on this plus 5% button, it's going to bump it up by 5%, which will be about 15 GP. Now if I click that again, it's going to be 5% of my new price, so it's going to be about 16 GP. The button on the other side here is just going to decrease it by 5%. The 3 dots here is to enter a custom price. So if I'm crazy, I want to put it in for 4,000 coins, I can do that if I want. If I want to return it to the guide price or what the Grand Exchange thinks the value is around, I can just hit the guide price button. So to buy it instantly, I'm just going to hit the plus 5% button once and hit confirm. So it should turn yellow and then green. At that point, I have bought the Nature Rune. I can go click on it. And you may notice that you're going to have the Nature Rune, yes, but you'll also have some coins back. Now, the reason for that is the Grand Exchange is working its hardest to get you the best deal possible. So let's say the Nature Rune here, and I want to buy it for 4,000 coins because I'm going to buy it right away. The Grand Exchange is going to settle that offer with the lowest possible item in the Grand Exchange that is still available for sale. So if we click on this here, I put in for 4,000 coins. However, I'm going to get 3,696 coins back. So if we collect both those items here, and we collect both of these items here, and we come over here to the history button and click on that, we can see that we actually only bought the items for about 303 coins and 304 coins. The rest of that money was all excess coins. The Grand Exchange did not need to actually buy that item. Now this also works in reverse. So when you are selling an item, for example, let's sell this 1 Law Rune here. If I go down and I want to sell it right away and I put it in for 1 GP, it will most likely not sell for 1 GP. Now the reason I am pretty confident about this is Law Runes and Nature Runes are traded a ton. It is very unlikely that someone will have a buy offer in for 1 coin and nobody else will have a higher offer. So if we put it in for 1 coin and hit confirm, Well, it looks like it sold for 1 coin, but actually did not. It sold for 296 coins. And in a simple way, that is kind of the essence of flipping. You are taking advantage of people's laziness, kind of. So someone who wants to sell this instantly is going to sell it for 296 coins. Someone who wants to buy the Law Rune instantly is going to be buying it for 298 coins. So if we see here, that is a 2 GP difference or a 2 GP margin. So right now we could go ahead and buy Law Runes for 296 coins because that is the highest price that people are buying it at. And we could go ahead and sell the Law Rune later for 298 coins because that is the highest price that people are buying it at. The reason that this works is people are constantly instantly selling items and instantly buying items. If you have patience and put in specific offers based on these margins, you can make a ton of money. Now there's always going to be more to explain, but let's just jump right into a real world example. So let's go take out another 100,000 coins just to simplify things here. Okay, so you have 100,000 coins, you want to try your very first flip. Now pretty much every single item in game can be flipped and pretty effectively, honestly. However, there's normally 2 categories of flips. You're going to go for high volume flips, which will be items like runes, fish, ores, really any item that is traded heavily and consistently on the Grand Exchange. And there's also going to be low volume flips. This could be stuff like rarer items, more expensive items, or just generally items that are traded less. When you are learning, I would highly recommend just going for high volume flips. They are much lower risk and much easier to visualize your profit and a very simple process to do so. I guess this is as good a time as any to mention that you can lose money flipping. However, it's very unlikely in the long run that you are going to lose much money at all. You should generally be making money. Obviously at first when you are learning, you will probably be failing flips more frequently, but just keep practicing and eventually you will be consistently making profit. Okay, so now to begin with here, let's just think of an item. Now just imagine we're in free to play. What is an item that people trade a lot or just use a lot? Well, let's try iron ore. That is one of the most commonly mined items in the game. So we're going to go ahead and search for iron ore. So once again, we're going to go ahead and up the percentage by 5%. Occasionally you'll need to do this more than 5%, but for higher volume items, it's very unlikely. So we bought the item instantly for 136 coins. Now we're going to go ahead and directly sell it back. We're going to drop it down by 5% and hit yes. And we sold it for 135 coins. Now this is just a margin of 1 GP, so it's not a lot at all, but it's very easy to visualize it. Now one quick trick here is when you have a look in your history here by clicking the button up here, you can directly just click on an item. It'll automatically start a buy offer at that exact price. So the price we sold it at is actually the price we want to buy the item at because that is the best price that we can buy iron ore at, and 136 is the best price that we'll be able to sell the iron ore at. So if we go ahead and click on iron ore for 135, we're going to go ahead and buy, well, we can afford 700. Now here's how you can actually change the quantity that you want to buy. You can either click these plus buttons to give it +1 or these minus buttons to give it -1. And all these buttons here will give it +1, +10, +100, or +1000. If you have a specific number in mind, you can actually just click the 3 dots and enter a specific quantity. We're going to put in 700. So 700 iron ore at 135 coins, and we'll hit accept. So now we pretty much just have to wait. This probably won't take more than a few minutes for this offer to come through, so we'll be back when it is done. So this offer took about 5 minutes to come through. The amount of time it takes offers to come through is going to vary based on a few different factors. For one, the amount of items that you were buying. If I was buying 7,000 iron ore, it would take quite a bit longer. The type of item that you were buying. Iron ore is one of the most traded items in the game. Now there are ways to check the amount that are traded every hour or every day and get more analytics on certain items, but I'm going to save that for maybe a different video. This is more just for very beginners. So now we bought them all for 135. We're going to go ahead and we can hit the collect button up here, which will collect all items that we have sold or bought in one go. So if we click collect, we're going to collect all of our iron ore. If we look at the history here, we bought all the iron ore for 135 GP. Now what I'd like to do is, since it's been a little bit of time, I like to go ahead and recheck the item's price. So we're going to go ahead and buy one more iron ore. So it looks like now the iron ore is worth 137 coins. These things will change very frequently, so we're going to go ahead now and actually sell it for 137 coins. So it already has a perfect price in here, so let's go ahead and hit sell, and we'll come back when it is all sold. Alright, so we ended up selling all of our iron ore for 137 coins. It really did not take much time to sell, so we're going to go ahead and collect the iron ore right now. We can just hit the collect button in the top right, or just click on the item and on the cash. So if we go ahead and price check it, we have about 101.4k, or we can just go to our history tab here and have a look. So we bought them all for 94.5k and we sold them for pretty much 96k. Now that might not seem like a ton of money, but if you multiply that up to, let's say we invested 1 mil or 10 mil or 100 mil, you could start getting, well, 14k, 140k, or even 1.4 mil. Getting a 1% return on a flip is not unheard of, and it's actually pretty easy to do with some items. So really, as you get more money to work with, you can start getting a ton more money from flipping. So there's just one more thing I want to explain here, but let's go do one more flip just to try to re-explain this one more time. So let's go try one more item here. Next up, let's try maybe a rune. Another very common rune in free-to-play is the death rune. So there we go, we searched it up. So we're gonna go increase the price by 5%, and we'll go ahead and buy it. We'll go ahead and hit collect, and then we're going to go ahead and directly sell it back. We're going to go decrease the price by 5%, collect it, and let's go look at the history here. So 280 GP into 288 is actually quite good. So we're going to go ahead and buy as many death runes as we can for 280 GP. Can we get 300, 400, not quite 400, so we're going to go ahead and do 350. 350, 98,000 coins invested. Seems good to me, so let's hit confirm. And we'll go ahead and wait for that to complete. So there's a bit of terminology I just want to explain at the end here, and it kind of means something different to every person. Now, a couple words that people throw around a lot are flipping, merchanting, and investing. Oh, wow, that came through very quickly. We already bought all of the death runes for 280, so let's go ahead and sell them for, what was it, 288. Quite a good margin already. So we bought them for 98,000 coins, and we're looking to sell them for 100.1k pretty well. Okay, so flipping. I would consider flipping exactly what we are doing now. The purpose of it is to buy something and sell it back for the margin that you see as quickly as possible. It would be an extremely successful flip if I do buy this death rune for 280 and sell it for 288. We're not waiting any time. We're trying to flip this over as quickly as possible. Now, the next term that people mention is merchanting. Now, I would consider merchanting to be over potentially several days or at least a longer period of time. You are looking to take advantage of short fluctuations in the market or other short-term changes that might affect the price of an item. So let's say you go ahead and buy some death runes in the middle of the night, because you know for some reason a lot of players dump their death runes at 3 in the morning. Now this is not true, but just for an example. So you buy them then, and then you wait until the morning and you sell them when the Danish people wake up because they like death runes. I don't know, I just kind of made that up. My perception of it is taking advantage of something short term that would affect the market, but you are planning it out to some degree. And last up here is investing. Now investing would be done over a very extended period of time, maybe months or even years. You are going to be predicting the direction and the price that the item is going to be taking. A recent example of this would be the Portal Nexus update. For those who don't know, in membership there was a new update called the Portal Nexus. The Portal Nexus requires a lot of law runes to create, so over the last couple weeks the price of law runes have gone up because everyone is buying law runes to make the Portal Nexus. Now if someone was smart and was paying attention to the new updates coming into the game, one could have bought a ton of law runes months ago and predicted that the price would go up, and that's what I would consider to be an investment. So it doesn't look like our death runes are coming through. We're going to go ahead and recheck the price of the item, and it looks like it's dropped down to 285. So we're going to go drop it down to 285. Now you don't need to check this all the time. For items that have high volume, they're going to be fluctuating in price a lot. However, every day, every single item fluctuates up and down a certain degree. So if you're just patient and wait, it will sell anyway. However, if you're a little more impatient and just want to get it sold, you might have to recheck the price. And it looks like it paid off because we sold it for 285 pretty much right away. So if we go ahead and collect the death runes, you can see we bought them for 98,000 coins and we sold them for just over 100,000, which is a 2k profit in just a few minutes. Now once again, once you scale this up, you will start making a ton of money. But that is pretty much it. Those are the basics. Flipping is really easy to do. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. I will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave the video a like, and I will see you next time.